I knew my wedding day would be emotional, but nothing prepared me for the moment my mother-in-law approached me with that too sweet smile, holding a champagne flute like it was a peace offering. "Here you go, sweetheart. Drink up. It's your big night," Carol said, brushing a hand over my arm in a calculated show of affection. I might have believed her act if I hadn't noticed the faint ring of chalky white residue around the rim of the glass. Most people wouldn't have seen it. Most people wouldn't know what it meant. But I'm not most people. My name is Isabella. I'm 27, and I work as a clinical pharmacist at the regional hospital. I've spent years identifying medications by sight alone. Powders, tablets, dissolvables, you name it. When I saw that residue on my wedding night, my stomach dropped. Carol waited for me to take a sip the way someone waits for a magic trick to unfold. I lifted the glass to my lips, pretending not to hesitate, and watched her eyes sharpen with interest. She wanted a show. She wanted a reaction. But what she got was something she never planned for. My relationship with Carol had been a slow burn nightmare from the very beginning. She decided I wasn't right for her son before she even knew my last name. According to her, Michael, my now husband, deserved a woman of class, someone with a family name that meant something, someone polished. I, apparently, was none of those things. For 3 years, I tried to win her approval. I brought her flowers, invited her to brunch, even let her take the lead on small parts of the wedding planning. But every gesture I made was ammunition for her, something to twist, critique, or weaponize. She'd pretend to be friendly in front of Michael, and the moment he stepped out of the room, she transformed. She'd dig her nails into my confidence with subtle jabs, comments about my looks, my job, my upbringing, my unremarkable family. She spread rumors to Michael's cousins. She implied I had emotional issues. She tried to make me look dramatic and unstable. For months, I quietly documented everything: texts, voice messages, suspicious incidents, because something told me I might need proof someday. I never imagined that proof would come from my wedding night. Our venue was a stunning outdoor garden filled with lantern-lit pathways and soft music echoing from a live quartet. It should have been perfect. It would have been perfect if Carol hadn't arrived nearly an hour late, marching into the ceremony like she was stepping onto a runway she hadn't been invited to. She complained loudly about the flowers. She scolded the coordinators about the seating chart. During cocktail hour, she declared to anyone who would listen, "I warned Michael this was a mistake, but some lessons people need to learn the hard way." Her sister tried to hush her, but Carol lifted her chin. "I'm his mother. I have the right to speak the truth." I felt heat rise up my neck as guests turned to stare. I could practically hear their thoughts. Why isn't his mother happy? What's wrong between them? Is the bride the problem? I tried to ignore it, but the humiliation sat in my throat. Then the incident with the red wine happened. During family photos, Carol staggered towards me with her glass, pretending to lose her balance. The splash hit the front of my dress instantly. Dark, noticeable, impossible to hide. "Oh no," she gasped dramatically. "Isabella, you have to be more careful." More careful, as if I threw it on myself. Michael rushed over, concerned. "Mom, what happened?" She looked up at him with a trembling lip. "It was an accident, but she's being a bit sensitive about it." I wasn't. I saw her smirk when his back was turned. It was the kind of smile someone gives when a plan is unfolding perfectly. The sabotage kept escalating. When the photographer called for family photos, Carol stepped forward and said, "Let's get some shots of the real family first." Michael's siblings didn't protest. They simply walked into formation without me. I stood off to the side, clutching my dress, watching them pose together while guests whispered. For a second, I wondered if this was how the rest of my life would be. Always outside the frame, never accepted, always battling for space beside the man I loved. I saw her scanning the room, her movements hurried and suspicious. Then her hand darted into her clutch, and she sprinkled something into a champagne glass. She thought she was hidden behind the floral arrangement, but I saw everything. When she turned and spotted me approaching, her whole demeanor shifted into sugary sweetness. She grabbed that exact glass and walked towards me like she was presenting a gift. "For the bride," she beamed. My heart hammered so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I took the glass, but didn't drink it. Not yet. I forced a smile, thanked her, and excused myself to the bathroom. The moment the door shut behind me, I exhaled shakily and held the glass under the bright vanity lights. The residue had clumped near the edge, barely visible to the untrained eye. Based on the texture and faint smell, I suspected a benzodiazepine, likely lorazepam or diazepam, something that would make me sluggish, confused, emotional, or even disoriented. The perfect ingredients for Carol's favorite narrative. Isabella is unstable. Isabella is dramatic. Isabella embarrassed herself at her own reception. But she underestimated the one thing she could never control: my knowledge. Jessica, my maid of honor, texted me at that exact moment. I saw Carol at the champagne table. I don't think that was normal. Are you okay? I texted back, meet me outside the bathroom, now. When she arrived, I showed her the glass. Her eyes widened. Bella, she really tried to drug you? I nodded. We're not letting her win. With trembling hands, I transferred the contents of my glass into a sealed specimen container I'd packed earlier for emergencies, but certainly not for this. Then I swapped glasses with another untouched one on the counter. I walked back into the reception holding what Carol believed was her masterpiece. From across the room, I heard her whispering to Michael's aunt, "Just wait, she'll show everyone exactly what kind of girl she is. Give it time." Her confidence in her tone sent a chill down my spine. She thought she'd already won. She thought this would be the moment she proved I wasn't good enough. Little did she know, she had just set the stage for her own downfall. Jessica became my shadow throughout the evening. At one point, she leaned in and whispered, "I got it recorded, everything, her dropping something into the glass." My breath caught. "You recorded it?" "Yes, and the angle is clear." That was the moment I knew the night was no longer about defending myself. It was about protecting my future. The tension reached its peak when Carol stood up during dinner for a surprise toast. She tapped her glass, smiling broadly. "Everyone, I just want to say a few words about my son." I braced myself. "Michael has always been someone who deserves the best," she said, pausing dramatically to look directly at me. "And I just hope, truly hope, that he's made a choice tonight that honors our family's values." Gasps whispered around the table. Michael stiffened. I felt my chest tighten with hurt, but I didn't react. I couldn't, not yet. The breaking point came an hour later when Carol announced loudly, "I give this marriage 6 months." That was it. Jessica squeezed my hand. "It's time." I rose slowly, deliberately, letting the room quiet down. "Before we end tonight, I need to share something important with all of you." Carol's face shifted. Fear flickered in her eyes for the first time. I lifted the doctored champagne glass. This glass was handed to me by Carol. She slipped medication into it, intending to make me act unstable on my wedding night. "That's a lie," Carol screamed. "Why would I ever—" But Jessica stepped forward and played the video. The room went silent as they watched Carol look around, then drop a pill into the champagne. Then my voice continued. As a pharmacist, I identified the substance as likely lorazepam, a sedative, enough to impair judgment. Michael stared at his mother like he no longer recognized her. "Mom, tell me this isn't real." Carol's face crumpled. "I was trying to protect you," she whispered. "From her." I pulled out my phone and disclosed months of documented manipulation. Texts, voice messages, comments she'd made behind my back. The evidence was undeniable. Carol collapsed into a chair, sobbing, not from guilt, but from being exposed. Michael walked to my side instantly. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I should have seen it sooner." Behind us, guests whispered in disgust. Some walked away from Carol, others shook their heads. Her reputation crumbled right there on the reception floor. After the wedding, Michael and I agreed on strict no-contact boundaries. His extended family insisted Carol seek counseling, and she eventually did, but the damage was already done. We celebrated our first anniversary last month. Stronger, closer, unshakable. And sometimes I think about that champagne glass, how it almost ruined everything. how it ended up saving me instead. Because the truth is simple. Sometimes the biggest danger to a marriage isn't outside influence. It's the person who claims to love your spouse the most.